Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about top reasons why your grad school application could be rejected. So if you're applying to grad school anytime soon, make sure you keep watching this video. So before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all 500 of you that have subscribed to this channel so far. Thank you for being, here from the very beginning. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing with people. Thank you to all 500 of you. And if you are new on this channel, please subscribe to my channel and expect a lot of grad school video, grad school tips, grad school admission, grad school life, everything grad school on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post videos. So big thank you to all of you. So before we get started with the top reasons why your grad school application could be rejected, I thought it would be important to mention that grad school application is a marketing exercise, and the better you get at marketing yourself, the higher your chances of getting in. So I feel like this is something that many people don't know or don't pay attention to. It is at the end of the day a marketing exercise, and the better you're able to tell your story, share your experience, talk about yourself, the better you get at all of that, the higher your chances of getting into that program. So that said, one big reason why your grad school application could be rejected is your target schools. So what schools did you apply to? What schools are you applying to? What schools are on your list? So if you are one of those people watching this video right now and you only apply to those big schools, big names that everyone in your city or in your country knows about, that is a problem. Don't just apply to these very competitive programs where your chances of getting in is very slim. Apply to a good range of schools. And don't just apply to, since maybe I can't get into this program, I'll apply to 10 schools. No, you have to be strategic about the schools that you actually apply to. Make sure those schools are right for you. Make sure it's a very good mix, a very good balance of schools in your target school list. So that is the first reason your application could be rejected. It is that you're applying to those schools that are extremely competitive, and you likely are going to get a lot more rejections than you should have. So another reason your grad school application could be rejected is timing. If you're applying to those programs that have different rounds of application, round 1, round 2, round 3, whatever names they call those rounds, make sure you try or you aim to apply in round 1 or round 2. Don't apply in the final rounds. And this is important because your chances of getting in first, your chance of getting in is higher in round 1 than it is in round 2. Definitely higher in round 1 and 2 than it is in round 3 or round 4. So you want to make sure you apply when you have a higher chance of getting in, and that is usually in round 1 and in round 2. This is the case because in round 1, if you apply in round 1, you're basically shaping that class. You're shaping the kind of profile that will be in the class. If you apply in round 2, you're still doing that. But by the time you apply in round 3, the class has been formed and they're going to just be taking in a few more people. But that means you have to basically be not better, but you have to be pretty good. You have to be very competitive compared to the class they have already formed. Let's say a school or program is trying to take in 70 people and they've picked 50 people in round 1 and 2 or 60 people. The 10 people they're picking in round 3 and 4 have to be at least at par with that profile they've already set up in that class, if that makes sense to you. So you want to make sure that you apply at the right time, apply when you have a higher chance of getting in. That way you reduce your chances of getting rejected in that program. But this is not to say, you should rush up and apply in round 1. If your application would be significantly stronger in round 3, then maybe round 3 is right for you. But overall, aim for round 1 and round 2. The reason your grad school application could be rejected is low test scores, low GPA, and these two things in itself or in themselves don't lead to rejection. But if you have a low test score or a low CGPA and you don't pay attention to other parts of your application, that you've already set yourself up to be rejected by the school. What you want to do if you have a low GPA is to make sure you pay attention to other parts of your application and don't just throw in an application like it's normal. You want to make sure you have strengths in other areas and you are putting those areas forward in that application. So low test scores, low GPA absolutely can lead to rejection, but you want to make sure to avoid being rejected by all these programs you're applying to, you just want to make sure that you're focusing on, you know, other areas of your application that are stronger. So I'll say pay attention to all those other things, especially if, of course, you can't go back to undergrad or go back to college and try to improve your GPA. Test scores could be improved, but GPA you can't improve. So if that is the case, if that is your case, make sure you're paying attention to other things that you are submitting with that application. One reason your application could also be rejected is those crazy mistakes, those avoidable mistakes you're not paying attention to. So let's say you're applying to 4 schools or 5 schools and you mistakenly and you're using the same essay, which you shouldn't do, but you're using the same essay, the same personal statement, and throwing in that personal statement to every school. But you mistakenly, you know, Friday night, you're tired, you're sleepy, you mistakenly didn't change the name of the school in one essay. You know, instead of writing Harvard, you wrote Yale, or, you know, vice versa. That is a problem. When anyone on the admissions committee, admissions team reads your personal statement and sees the wrong school, it's a red flag. It's a no. Don't do that. Don't make those mistakes. Don't throw in your application when you've not like proofread everything. Make sure you read your personal statements, you read what you're typing in whatever application boxes online. Make sure you do that, because that mistake, no matter how great your application is, the admissions committee person, the admissions person who is reviewing your application would likely just you know, advise that you should be rejected. So that's how it is. Remember that there's a person, you know, it's not a computer or a system or some algorithm going through your personal statement. It is someone. So make sure you're not making those mistakes. Those little mistakes could really just mess up everything. Make sure you proofread all your personal statements and essays and whatever it is you're writing in your application, so that you can avoid being rejected. So that's one other reason that you could, you know, be rejected. So another reason you could be rejected is lack of interest. So you haven't demonstrated to the school, to the admissions committee, that you are like so interested in that program. So when you're applying to a school, you need to show interest, and there are many ways you can show to the school that you are like crazy about them, you know, that you are really interested in this school. You could do that by, you know, in your personal statement, writing about who you've spoken with, which students, you know, made you want to come to the school, which professor you've been checking up, why you're interested in that research work. That's one way you can show that. Or who did you send an email to, what research have you done that convinced you that this is the right place for you. Whether they know you're applying to like 10 schools, they know you're applying to 100 schools, but every school wants you to show that you're really interested. And this is important to them, because if they give you that admission, they want to feel like you're going to take it. So it looks bad on them when they admit students and those students reject the admission. So they want to be sure that whoever they're giving that admission will likely come into the program. And all of these things affect their rankings and so many things. So the interest is very important. So you need to be able to demonstrate in different parts of your application that, you know what, I'm crazy about you guys. I really want to be here. Whether or not you're applying to, or you're saying that to 5 different schools, well, nobody knows. And they also know that this is not the only school you're applying to, but you need to be able to demonstrate why this school is for you, why you really want to come here, why you're not applying, or why you're not choosing any other school over them. Whatever, you just need to be able to show a high level of interest in your application. And this is just because the school wants to be sure that if they give you an admission, you will take it. Whether or not you end up taking it, that doesn't matter. But at the application stage, you want to demonstrate a lot of interest. And if you're not doing that, you're likely going to be rejected by the school. One reason your application could be rejected relates to professional research leadership experience. So one case is some schools or some programs tell you, hey, we need a minimum of 2 years or 3 years full-time work experience. you know, if you don't have that much experience or you don't have those 2 years experience, if they have explicitly stated that on their website, then that's a reason you could get rejected. But I think the more common one or the more important one is how you talk about your experience. So it's not just about the number of years you've had working full-time, but how do you talk about that experience? How do you share that story? What do you say about those experiences that you have? Can you really communicate and convince someone that you've had really great experience? And I think many times, even those schools that say they want 2 years minimum experience, it's possible for you to have worked for like 18 months and have better experience, better leadership experience, better research experience than someone that has worked 5 years. So telling your story in a certain way is very important, and this is why I always talk about like your strategy for telling your story, your strategy for talking about your experience. So you want to make sure that you not just have the experience, but you can talk about that experience in a certain way that convinces whoever is reading your story, whoever is reading or going through your application, whether in your resume, in your essays or personal statements, in your recommendation. You need to make sure that everything works, and your story, you come across as having that experience or that research experience that that school wants. So if you're not doing that, you're not talking about your experience properly, or you're applying to programs that have a minimum number of years of experience and you don't have that minimum, then you've already set up yourself to be rejected by the school. In the comment section right now which of these mistakes you've been making in your grad school application, and also if you need any help with any aspect of your application, you can also drop that in the comment section. And don't forget, I have my email somewhere in the description box, so if you want to ask some questions privately, shoot me an email. I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it useful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so you're the first to know when I post videos like this. And yeah, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.